But there's endless numbers and types of trauma. For example, here in New Orleans, definitely most people in the world can remember Katrina and the terrible impact it had on the city. The fact that the levees broke, the federal levees broke and filled up the city was like a punch bowl, and the city marinated in water for weeks, at least 2 weeks. In some parts, it was far more than that. So, what are the consequences of that? But then you have to add there are other types of trauma as well. The trauma that happened here in terms of rescue, the sense that no one was going to help, a feeling of abandonment. But there was also obviously all kinds of trauma with regard to medical needs, accidents, mm, people being rescued, and problems caused by that, a boat sinking. All the things that are associated with rescue and recovery could go wrong. And then there's the long term effects as well. Gang violence is a source of trauma that certainly is affecting New Orleans and numbers of other cities, including the city I used to live in, Tallahassee. So there's a wide variety of types of trauma that are experienced pretty much everywhere in the world, certainly in big cities like New Orleans. But we also want to focus on not only on the interpersonal and psychological aspects of that, but also the the, the spiritual trauma, the cultural trauma, and we'll talk more about that. And we'll show you some videos illustrating this. One very interesting clip that we have for you is the consequence of an earthquake that happened in 2011 in Japan. But unlike other earthquakes, there were two other problems. First of all, the earthquake caused a tsunami that affected the islands of Japan, and then the Fukushima nuclear reactor was damaged, and lots of problems were associated with that, and we're still dealing with that today. So there are quite a few things, quite a few sources that cause trauma, and we've tried to find some clips that illustrate what they go through. For example, during an earthquake, what does it feel like? And there was an American that was interviewed by CBS News that talked about how terrifying it was, not just for himself, but for his family, for his two young sons, for example. So it can have a very dramatic impact. The other thing that we've asked you to read and to think about is the work by Bessel van der Kolk. He's a friend and colleague. What he talks about, the body keeps the score. Sometimes we don't even know why we have this sense, this fear, this premonition. But yet there are unexplained sensations in our body that are activated when we think about a particular past traumatic event. And that also needs to be understood thoroughly, and that's why we're sharing it with you here. But there are lots of additional readings that you can go to, and probably other videos, and certainly more. There are many movies that illustrate the things that we're talking about here. And as I said before, please let us know. One thing that I would like you to also consider is to visit the IFC Wellness Center in Riverside, California. I started a trauma clinic at Florida State University a number of years ago, and we saw clients with all kinds of trauma caused by all kinds of things, domestic violence, um, hurricanes, floodings, um, auto accidents. There are lots and lots of things. But the thing that really connects everyone, and it certainly does when you go to this wellness center, is the notion of the role of fear. And at the center, it reminds me of our experiences at the trauma clinic in Tallahassee at Florida State, because the people who go there, visit that site, as well as those that seek therapy, including at our clinic, many of them have not had much experience with trauma. So it's critically important to educate them about this. So hopefully you'll enjoy this KB. KB2, and I'll talk to you soon.